and welcome to ReCall the Midwife. We are a fan podcast, and normally we watch an episode of Call the Midwife and then we talk about it. But this week is a listener's special. I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen. Hello. No trigger warnings this week, folks, because we're just going to talk about probably lots of nice things.
Well, you say that, but
Hopefully
it might be a vitriol and abuse from our listeners.
Well, it's a trigger warning for us, but doesn't have to be for the audience. So.
Right, we're going to start with one from Lauren, who I've
Can
actually
I just?
messaged. Oh, go on.
Can I just say, if anyone says that, I feel awkward when people say nice things to me. So sometimes we do listener specials, and then I just don't speak because I just feel awkward.
So she's preempted that by being awkward.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, if Bex is quiet in those parts where we're talking about how great we are, then yes, she won't know why.
Whereas me and Jen lap that up. Right.
Oh, I love it. It's just confirmed all my deepest beliefs. So yeah.
I mean, same. Right, okay. So Lauren has messaged. She's emailed. She says, "Hi, this is my first time leaving a comment on anything, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing this podcast. It is amazing.
Aww.
My name is Lauren, and I am a 17-year-old absolutely obsessed with Call the Midwife to the point that I've watched my favourite seasons 3 to 7 so many times that I have lost track. I recently discovered your podcast when I wanted to know whether other people's opinions match mine, and I found that they mostly align with Alex and Beck. Sorry, Jen."
No offense taken, Lauren.
"I love the constant tangents and stories regarding Alex's daughter and your time at university. I feel like I know you guys well. Just some backstory on myself. I began watching Call the Midwife at the beginning of lockdown with my nan when I was 12. How cute is that?
Aww.
And it helped me get through a really tough and lonely period. Listening to this podcast has really taken me back to when I first discovered it. So thank you all for that." Unfortunately, I no longer watch the current series as I couldn't get past the heartbreak of my favourite characters leaving. Valerie and Patsy have my heart forever. But I will ensure I keep up to date with your social media and continue rewatching series 3 to 7 over and over again, once I've watched them all once, of course. Additionally, I wanted to say that I have taken up listening to this podcast while revising for my A-levels, and it has really helped me get through it and focus, so thank you once again for all that. Sorry for my incredibly long email. I tell you what, Lauren, that's not the longest we've had. And bad grammar, she does not have bad grammar. Anyway, so that was lovely from Lauren. So I messaged back because behind the scenes, we're actually recording on Mother's Day here, and I stupidly said that I would take my daughter and her 3 friends to this party this morning. It was a long story, so I was like in Costa Coffee on my own this morning. And also the clocks have gone forward an hour here. Yeah. So it was like, felt like 9 o'clock. So I'm just there, blurry-eyed. So I replied being like, "Oh, that was a lovely message. Thank you so much, blah, blah, blah." And then we basically decided that Patsy and Delia, I've told her about Miss Higgins, by the way, and Nurse Crane having a lovely, beautiful friendship, and that's worth watching it for the later season. So she said she might try it. But I was also basically like, we could maybe try and find a way to cancel Patsy's directing and basically make it so that she has to go back to Call the Midwife because she's got another option.
Oh, yeah.
She was basically like, that's a bit much.
I respect Lauren for just stop. That's
Stopping.
what happened if Fred left for me.
You're on a podcast. You've got to do it.
Wait, but here's the question though: who could leave that we would be like, okay, I can't.
She's just said
Fred, possibly Violet.
I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Did you could just drop us some spoilers though of like what everybody's up to?
Yeah, I could do that, to be fair, actually.
Because I bet she'd never guess about Miss Higgins.
Well, just on that note, right, Helen said on Facebook, "I'm not sure Becky can call herself a superfan if she hasn't watched series 14 yet." Surely you would be busting to watch it. So, do you know what I mean?
There we go.
And I think I replied something like, she's a character of her own, in her own. She's just a very own. What's the word? I think I said she's a unique character.
What will happen is once I watch one, it'll just
then you'll just binge. Yeah.
I just need to it's like The Crown.
You said you watched one.
Bex, you know what you need to do? You need to put on series 13, and like you say, you just keep letting it play, and then it'll eventually roll to series 14, and then you'll be like, oh, and you won't even think about it, and then you'll just get sucked in, and then you'll be like, oh my god, I want.
I'm not resisting this.
But why are you just not watching it then?
Well, it's because it's on a Sunday night, and we record the podcast on Sunday
finished.
Night.
It's also been on BBC iPlayer that you could watch any other night.
I know. I'm not the biggest super fan.
I just don't know what the thing is. Do you know what really gets me about this with this on The Crown, right? You are literally the nosiest person in the world. You ask loads of questions about
Well, you
stuff.
always want to know
stuff.
about, you want to know all the
I
plot
know,
points.
Alex has
And
told me
literally,
what
it's there
happened.
waiting for you, and you won't
the
get
end.
it. It's the weirdest thing about you. No offense, but it's weird.
I just don't know why you tell the plot points out. You should just be like, listen, not knowing is your punishment. You have to watch to know.
I
That's
know,
what
but sometimes if I'm watching something, I will just whiz right to the end to see and then go back.
Oh, Bex.
No, it is weird. I can't get around it.
This is a problem. You need to talk to somebody
I've got
about
some
this.
sort of issue.
If anyone's a therapist out there who can unpack this for Bex,
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm gonna finish it before you will.
Yeah, I'm a stubborn person. It's got to be something around that.
It definitely is. I think my daughter's really stubborn on what she'll wear. And I have to I told you about the swimming costumes. I had to buy 5 different swimming costumes because I knew there's 2 that she'd wear out of those 5. But if I'd have bought her the first 2 on their own, she wouldn't have worn them. So I had to, because I had to have ones with sleeves for UV. So I had to literally buy ones I knew she'd hate. So she'd like those other ones. But it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You've got to be doing this stuff. But that's how she is. But she's 7. Anyway. So,
me and her are just kindred spirits.
Yeah. So what I'll do is have loads of different box sets and you've then got to choose them too.
Oh wait. Tell the listeners what she told you today about people copying her fashion.
So we turned up at this kids. I hope none of the mums listen. We turned up at this party this morning. It was lovely. So basically, I took my daughter and 3 other girls to a party today. They all live on our road. So I was like, I'll take them. We've got quite a big car. And I'm forgetting it was Mothering Sunday or whatever. But then my husband, they don't all fit in my husband's car. He hasn't driven my car. It's a long story. So I'm there on Mother's Day, getting up at daft o'clock when we've lost an hour going to this party. She's in a right mood. Honestly, she was awful. But then we were listening to Chapel Row. Honestly, you've never heard 4 kids sing Taylor Swift louder in your life than on the way there.
Oh
It was
God.
lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely. Anyway, we get to this party now. My daughter's wearing black jeans. Bearing in mind, it's like a lovely sunny day. Black jeans, black boots, and a black Kuromi top, as well as a spooky Halloween top underneath that's also black. And because this is her fashion, she will only wear black. She just loves black. It's black. And we get there, and 2 other girls who are like 2 of her best friends are wearing full black outfits. Like, I will say, I've seen one wear a full black outfit before, but otherwise she's very girly. And the other one usually wears really bright colours. So my daughter was fuming. She was just like, oh, mummy, have you seen? They copied me. And I was like, Bob, you've not copyrighted black like lots of people.
Like, black is one of the most.
I will say it's quite unusual to see 7-year-olds dressed fully in black, like little goths.
It is.
Did you tell her that it's what do they say? It's
Flattery.
the best form of flattery.
Yeah, I was like, but I was also like, you can't police what people wear.
Yeah.
And take it as a form of flattery, but also at the same time, their parents might have bought them that, and also wind your neck in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I was like, if you don't cheer up and be nice, you're not going to the party.
Once
Anyway.
she hits the teens, she'll be in a pair of Nike Pro leggings and a white fox hoodie.
Well, by then she might not be. That might be the worst thing. That's probably something she'd like be expecting me to wear at that age.
Yeah. How
years.
can we even anticipate what's going to be trendy once she's
in 6 years? In 6 years, yeah. God, I'm not looking forward to it if she's like this now. Honestly, that lost hour, mood central today. Anyway,
I think there's going to be a lot of door slamming.
Oh God, I'm going to take them off the flaming hinges.
I cut my clocks forward a day earlier so that it gets me a bit more.
Oh, I'm brilliant. So anyway. We didn't. We stupidly let her stay up and watch a bit of Harry Potter. So she went to bed at about 9, which actually then worked out about 10. And she was just absolutely... She's awful. She had a big massive day the day before doing this big brownie thing. Honestly, she was absolutely knackered. Anyway, that's by the by. Let's get back to listener special. Sorry, guys. So Heidi, who is a massive contributor.
Heidi Thomas.
Yeah, this is basically Heidi Thomas, I think. Now, Jen, this is amazing for you. Are you ready for this? This is something that's going to make Jen feel mega. Okay, you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Hi there. I just did a little test and I thought you might find it interesting. I just watched series 13, episode 6, and I played it on my phone through Netflix. Netflix? What? Netflix. I watched it on my television through the DVD. The Netflix version is 9 minutes shorter than the DVD version. That's a lot of deleted scenes. It's hard for me to understand why Netflix feels the need to shorten the episodes, but maybe we convince Jen to buy the DVDs. But the point is, Jen, you are not wrong.
Yes, they are. They are shorter. They are.
It does give Jen
What?
artistic license when she's like not followed something to be like, oh, that was a deleted scene for me.
Yeah, but 9 minutes an episode. That's quite
That's
a lot of
lot.
deleted scenes. Yeah.
It is a lot. And I will say I don't get why they cut it because PBS is where it airs in the US and PBS is known for like really not being commercial television. And it then goes to Netflix, which doesn't matter how long the episodes are on there either. And I'm like, I don't get why it has to be shorter. I just don't understand why it has to be shorter. I mean,
I don't know if it's something to do with their like hard drive space or something. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
Not hard drive, but like server stuff, and maybe cutting some minutes off helps them. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a
I'm just
feeling.
trying to think of an excuse. Becky's looking at me like I'm the thickest person in the world.
They'll have quite good servers.
I know they will, but just think
Netflix
about how much they'll save by just 1 minute, shaving 1 minute off with loads of people streaming, is my point.
Yeah, they're probably like, oh, we'll get rid of this scene. It's just a bunch of women.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying that's my views.
No, that's the patriarchal Netflix. Yeah. Yeah.
It totally is.
Okay, now, Julie Coate has sent a message. We love Julie.
Oh, Julie.
Unrelated to this podcast episode, but for Alex, I saw this on Amazon, egg-free marshmallow fluff. I've looked, I'm getting it. Now, what I thought we should do, because I promised Bobs, is we're going to do a taste test, right?
Oh, we haven't done a taste test in a minute.
Well, I've never had a fluffernutter, but I'm gonna make her a real fluffernutter and then one with this egg-free one and see which one she thinks is better.
Oh.
Yeah. And you two can just watch us.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't need a reason to buy fluff, but maybe this is it, you know? Maybe I'll just buy one in solidarity just so I can have a fluffernutter with you guys.
Do it.
Oh, I love marshmallow fluff.
Right, okay.
Can I just go back to Lauren and just say to Lauren, good luck with your A-levels as well. It can be a very highly stressful time, but...
Oh, yes.
It did. And do you know what I actually said to her? I said, all will be well. In the words of Sister Julianne, all will be well.
Yeah, just keep plodding. Like, you don't... Just keep plodding. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Becky Lee, she has messaged and she says, I've just finished Miranda Hart's most recent book. I haven't been entirely honest with you. That's what the book's called. The most recent book. I haven't been entirely honest with you.
I was like, wait, Becky, what have you not been telling us?
Great book. In it, there are snippets of her time on Call the Midwife about how they filmed the birth scenes and what it's like for the mother and midwife in those scenes. And towards the end of the book, she hints at the fact that Jennifer Worth requested Miranda play Chummy. She says a dying lady on her deathbed wrote a book called Call the Midwife, requested me to play Chummy.
Oh,
that's amazing.
So one of us needs to volunteer to read that, or all of us. It's not going to be Bex.
How dare you?
Bex,
you want to be the one to read it?
I will do it now, just to prove a point.
Okay, is this one of those things where you say you're going to read it, but then you actually won't read it, and then you're going to be like, why do you still talk about this? Like, you're just pestering me? You're really going to read it?
I've got big Christmas plans.
Well, it's not going to happen, is it? Are you actually going to read that bit?
Yeah, I am.
Are you going to do the sign?
I'm going to do the sign and more.
Okay, so Bex,
I'm doing Christmas prep now, and it's March.
Okay.
I love it.
So are you going to have read the book by the time we finished all
I'm going to have read
recordings?
it by Christmas. No, I've read it sooner.
Okay, that's exciting. I'm excited to hear that. And you can send us the pages that are relevant.
I bet you her book would be very good, actually. Like, I would be very
You might want to read it as a backup. So anyway.
Listen, I feel...
You feel attacked?
Yes.
I mean, tell us why we shouldn't. What proof have you given us?
All will be vindicated once you've read the book in a relatively timely fashion.
Have you watched The Crown? No. Have you done the
I haven't got Netflix at the minute.
You can have mine. Probably shouldn't say that on air. Is that going to get us cancelled by Netflix? Anyway, right. Lucy Besh Design says, I'm not sure if you ladies are having...
Sorry. I know you interrupted, but I will say, just before we change subjects on this, to me, that would be incredibly high praise to have Jennifer Worth pick you out to play one of the characters that she really knew in real life. And I'm genuinely curious if she gives us more detail. That to me seems like a very high honor.
We said this on a podcast recently. I was listening to it the other day when we spoke, and I was like, she wasn't a comedian. She wasn't an actress, and Bex is like, she's not dead. But what I meant was she wasn't an actress. She was a comedian always.
Yeah.
That's why I'm actually quite shocked that Jennifer Worth actually chose her. Like, she might have been someone else. Like, Right, Lucy Best Design says, I'm not sure if you ladies are Harry Potter fans, but they're making a new HBO Harry Potter TV show. I think the actress that plays Sheila would be so awesome as Professor McGonagall. Her Scottish accent would be so perfect. She's so right. How amazing
She
would
would
that
be. Yeah, we are. Alex,
Oh,
I
young.
can't speak for Jen. I'm a Harry Potter fan.
Same. I watched
You
it
can't-
today with Babs.
You don't know if I'm a Harry Potter fan? Are we even friends?
I don't know.
Do you even know me?
We
Who
don't
are
sound
you?
like friends the way you're attacking me today.
I can't freaking believe it. Yes, I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I've read all the books. I was in Harry Potter mania, like all the rest of us. So what? This is going to be a prequel show? I haven't heard anything about this, or I don't know about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a prequel.
Oh,
So is
okay.
it going to be James and
Lily.
Lily. I knew it was an L.
I'm not sure. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I've read a few things about it, the castings and stuff, but
What I love about Harry Potter as well is that for some reason I just can't get it to stick in my mind. So sometimes when I watch it, it's like I'm watching it for the first time.
Well, I was watching it with my husband and my daughter last night, but she's obsessed with watching the later ones because she likes the Dementors, like it makes her daughter sound.
She's like, I love all the darkness. Yeah.
So she likes the Dementors. And so she's obsessed with watching it. So I haven't let her watch 6, 7, and 8 yet. But I thought for her birthday, we're going to go to Harry Potter Land, World, whatever it is. So I'm like, you can watch them now. So we watched 6 last night, and my husband's never watched it before. And I had to explain it and he was like, I just can't get this in my head.
Wait, he doesn't know anything about Harry Potter?
No.
Oh my God.
He's just not a Harry Potter kind of person.
I do love it. Which episode do I love? 6. What, the last 2 films?
7 and 8.
7. I love 7 and 8. I find them really comforting.
Same. I love
weird
them.
because it's like the darkest time. The bit where Harry, Ron, and Hermione have to go on the run with the tent.
Yeah, but my husband was like, "Why have they let all these evil ones in with Slytherin? Why are they teaching them the ways of the of wizardry? Get them out." He's like, "Why? Just don't admit them to the school." I'm like, "That's a very good point."
Yeah, but the whole of Slytherin isn't evil.
Well, they always say Slytherin isn't. It's not that they're evil. It's just that they have different skills and
the books are more
abilities and talents
nuanced
and
because
all
obviously
that.
we've read
Yeah.
all the books. The books are more nuanced, but if you're watching the film for the first time, you don't know anything else about it. You're like, why are they teaching these evil kids magic and like arming them?
I kind of want
Yes.
to watch it with your husband when he finds out about Professor Snape.
Oh.
I think he.
Does he know?
I think he's probably does know, yeah, because Bob's.
I've said it in that way in case he's listening to our podcast, so I don't ruin it for him.
Definitely won't be unless he's listening through the wall. That's the only way he's going to hear it. Okay, now Lorna's emailed. She says the subject is called Wartime Call the Midwife.
Okay.
Hi, Bex, Alex, and Jen. Long-time listener, first time emailing. Thank you so much, Lorna.
Oh.
I have been rewatching series 13. By the way, can I just say these are all not that recent because we haven't been recording for a while. I've been saving a load for a listener special, so sorry if it's taken so long to read your message out. I've been rewatching series 13, and the first episode has Rosie Jones playing an expectant mother. She was brilliant as always. She really was. The scene between Sister Julienne and her mother talking about delivering babies during the Blitz made me think that they should do a prequel of Call the Midwife set in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, we have. We'd get to see the younger Sister Julienne, Sister Monica Mojo, and Sister Evangelina together again, as well as seeing some of the stories of each of those characters mentioned sometimes throughout the series. Basically, I would just like more Call the Midwife. Same, Lorna. Thank you for your podcast show. It's so nice to hear other people talking about a show I love. Oh, Lorna, love it. Yeah,
Also,
100% agree.
If they did the prequel as well, they could have people like Val's mother being born. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? They could have people.
Well, not Val's mother, but like Val, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Sister Monica Jones brought Val into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, right. Now this is Jess who she did the amazing compilations of the best of our show.
Oh, Jess.
Yeah. Go and follow XX Lone Wolfie XX at YouTube, everyone. She's amazing. So she's also done actual best of actual Call the Midwife, not just ReCall the Midwife, the lesser show in the franchise. So hey guys, I have sort of a question, a sort of a catch I've seen, and I need more opinions on it because it's been bugging me for ages now. In series 3, we are told that Sheila needed Dr. Turner's signature to send off pregnancy tests. In season 6, she tells Sister Julienne she knows she's pregnant, and Sheila even says even Patrick doesn't know, which confuses me. Surely if she had a positive test but sent one off, she would then have needed Dr. Turner's signature, meaning he would know. And in season 11, we see Phyllis puts Lucille's test on a tray with no doctor's signature. Is this just a small error, or have I missed something big that explains all of this, or am I thinking about this wrong? If you have any ideas, please update me, because this has been in my head now for weeks with no answer. Now, I've been thinking about this, because obviously I've read this before. I think maybe he did have to sign it for permission, but by then, like, it's moved on a few. He didn't have to. Do you know what I mean? Like, moved on a few years. Maybe have to by then.
But do you think he's sending off a batch with his signature rather than individual?
I don't know. That's what maybe I was thinking.
I'm going to go back and watch series 3.
Like, he's not looking at the he's just looking.
Yeah, so you can just sneak a test into a batch. Also, as it goes on, I bet Sheila's just doing his signature.
That makes so much sense.
That makes so more years of being married to him. She already makes loads of decisions for him anyway.
And we know, and they probably have a pact that it's just like, listen, I'm just going to sign this. Like, are you okay with that? And he's like, yeah, cool, babe. Don't worry about it.
And we know that his handwriting is awful because Miss Higgins has said.
See, my thought was that what if it's a thing where they come to him and they're just like, okay, you just have to sign a whole stack of things. You just put your John Hancock on this. And he just is kind of like, like not even like really looking at it. Like he's just like signing it without even paying attention. And they're like, okay, thank you so much, Dr. Turner. Bye. And then they just go out and it's like, ooh, tricked him again. Not like in a bad way, but you know what I mean? Just like,
got him to sign that prescription.
Because also what happens too if like, I mean, these women are all smart, right? So let's be real. And they're all incredibly like morally above board. So my thing would be, what if Sheila put her urine sample in and just wrote patient, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever, and didn't put her name, and then he wouldn't know and he would just sign off on it. I just think there's lots of ways to get around it. I think it is still a policy.
She would just stick it under his nose, not literally.
But also at first, they've never been together that long, blah, 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 blah. But now she's just like,
she's just signing stuff.
Well, she's running everything.
Yeah,
her and Miss
I'm really good at doing signature. I've got my mum's signature, honestly, to a T. Like, I genuinely don't think a signature expert could tell the difference.
Well, they say, don't they? Where have I seen this? That you get them, you just fake the signature from the start.
Just commit fraud from day one.
Yeah, but
you don't need to.
If I'm actually doing, like, if I was committing fraud on my mum, I don't need to actually now. I've got power of attorney. But But I could, because from my homework diary when you're younger, I used to sign loads of letters. As a child,
I never did PE. I always got a note off PE. God knows what, I can't remember what we said was wrong with me. I can't have been on my period the whole time.
My mum did a note once that was like, she can't have a shower at PE. She can't do PE because she can't have a shower because she's allergic to the soap. And I'm like, Mum, they don't have soap. Like, I was just like, and then the PE teacher was like, well, you're doing it. And I was just like, worst mum in the world.
Well, I never did it. And then one time my brother was very sporty as a child, but he did want to skip PE, but he left the notes hanging around his bedroom of him practicing my mum's signature. And that was why he got in trouble, because he'd tried to fake a signature. Because if it had just bad, he would have just given him a note.
Yeah.
Because I had one every week.
You're quite sporty, I think. You're sportier than me.
But at school, doing PE, doing cross country,
it was awful.
And
I remember saying to the teacher, doing this cross country once a year is more likely to give me a heart attack than not doing it. And she was like, well, do you want to do it every week? And I was like, no, I'll do it once now.
And nowadays, they have to wear their PE kits in on days that they're doing dance class. Oh my God, I would have hated dance class at secondary school. Can you imagine?
No, I don't want to think about it.
Bob's is going to do dance.
Oh, she doesn't. She likes dance.
She does go to dance class. Yeah.
Yeah, but she hates PA. She hates it. She's just like, why do I need to learn about hockey? And then they play football, and she's like, the teacher doesn't even tell us how to play it, so I'm just stood there. She's like, how do I play it? I don't know. And no one's taught me. I'm like, fair. Right, now, Helen has sent an email. Hello, Helen. She says, was just reading this latest post, see link below, from the official Call the Midwife Facebook page. I don't know why I've said see page below. No one's going to see that. It remarks about how Angela has grown up on the show and is now 11. It made me think, will Call the Midwife go on long enough for Angela to be a mum? Would Sheila and Patrick relish being grandparents even if she got pregnant at 16? How would they react? That is a really good point.
This is a question I had never considered.
Yeah, because it's been going for 14 years now. We could have had a 5-year-old in it from this time. Do you know what I mean? We could see Timothy being a dad.
How old is Timothy on the show now, do you think?
Timothy's at university, and he
3.
must be a good couple of years into uni now.
So he's got to be like 21-ish.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
21 then. I'm adding extra years to him.
Okay.
He must be finishing uni soon.
Timothy could definitely be a dad on this show, for sure. No
Well,
question.
could he?
Oh, because we've speculated that he's could potentially be like a queer character.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll just say age-wise, yes, I think Tim will get to it. For Angela, I don't know if we will get there. That would be a stretch. I will say it would be crazy to
It's
think
5
about.
years if she's 16.
I know, but I mean,
She'd
that would
still
be
be
like
a young
teen
mum.
mom territory. I think the Turners would not be happy if she was a teen mom.
Because what year are we in now?
1970.
60, no, 70, 71?
Yeah,
Or 70?
71.
Yeah, 71.
So this is the point where we're getting into the 70s. I just think it's that time frame. The age profile is starting to spread out a bit, isn't it? Like our mums were having babies in the late 70s and they were like 30.
Yeah. But my mum was quite old. There was a 13-year-old having a baby when my mum had me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that was probably a bit scandalous, right?
No, it's totally normal around here.
Our mums were old because our mums.
It was very scandalous.
Our mum and dads have been married for a long time before they had babies.
Yeah. 51 years. No, they weren't married 51 years before they had babies.
It's a miracle.
7 years or something before they had babies.
Yeah.
Oh, but your parents, wait, Bex, how old were your parents when they met each other? When they met each other, yeah, and got married.
They didn't know each other for as long as Alex's parents, because your parents met at university. I don't know
My
where
parents were 18. They met at the second week of university at 18.
Wow, that's wild.
They're now 74.
Were probably in their early 20s when they met.
Oh, see, my parents were, by comparison to that, older. So, like, my mom was 25 when she met my dad, and my dad was about 30. And then they got married 4-ish years later, and then they had me 2.5 years later. So they were
So
not...
my mum and dad got married at 23 and had my brother at 28 and me at 30. But Becky's mum and dad got married the same year and had her brother the same year as my brother and Becky the same year as me.
Yeah. I mean, I think Angela being a teen mom would be really I think that would be a very dramatic, like,
yeah, but it could happen technically while the series is on. She could be a mom.
Oh no, it could happen, but I just think as like the way that, what's the listener's name again? I forget.
Helen.
No.
Helen?
Yeah.
Helen. The way she was presenting it was like, oh, what do you think it would be like if she got pregnant? And I'm just saying, I think the Turners would really struggle with that. Like, I don't think they. I mean, even
a
if
few years after that, 22 or whatever.
Well, yeah, but again,
I think 20s
culturally,
is fine.
It's different. It's a different
Well,
thing.
point being, it could happen. Let's watch this space anyway.
Let's hope that everyone's in it long enough and we don't have to boycott it. Like,
you're not boycotting. Sarah says, my name is Sarah and I live in Akron, Ohio, USA. I've been to Ohio.
Oh.
I love your podcast and I've been listening to it since the very beginning. Oh, thanks, Sarah. I always listen on Monday while I reset the house from the weekend. Do you know what comes to mind? I laugh out loud frequently and it makes the cleaning so much easier. Keep up the great work. Bless you, Sarah. Alex, have you heard the podcast Disgraceland? It has been around for a while and they have hundreds of episodes. Each episode focuses on a band, artist, actor, and the host has an amazing knack for storytelling. I thought you'd like it as I've discussed your love of music. Now I have. It's amazing. Only from your recommendation, because this is quite a while she sent this ago. Jen, because I was this is when I was like laid up with my leg up from the op.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Jen, here is a link for some cute overalls I thought of you when it came across my Instagram feed. Now, I did send them to you at the time. This is in December.
Yes.
Yeah. Becky, your dry humour always gets me laughing. I also relate wholly to your inability to remember anything. I will listen to anything the three of you put out there. You have such great chemistry. Oh, I hope you keep this going for a long time to come. Thanks. We probably won't because Becky's going to cancel us because we laughed at her about the sign.
The book and everything, yeah.
Yeah. But isn't that lovely?
We will keep it going. That is really lovely. I will say, I did I tell you guys this? I ordered a pair of overalls not long ago and I came in and they were horrible. They looked so bad. They were like a barrel leg, which on the model looked like it. I was like, okay, yeah. And then I also, in person, they were like this really kind of like, they weren't an acid wash, but if you're old enough like us, you'll remember what an acid wash looked like. But they were this kind of strange, like something had been done to this denim, and then they just didn't fit well anyway. Like they didn't look good and they didn't fit good, and they, so ultimately they were a real loss. But I was very bummed. I had high hopes
Oh, well, we're still on the hunt, guys. So
still looking
look
for it.
out.
Also,
Okay.
like just straight jumpsuit style as well as, like how Fred had. So just always keep my eyes peeled.
We'll all be on the lookout. Okay,
Yep.
Beth says, ordered a Quality Street on Amazon. I'm in Pennsylvania. They were $47 for a 2-pound tin. Is that accurate or overpriced? I was like, that's pretty overpriced, Beth.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but she said it was a Christmas treat for us. Unfortunately, I could not see what flavours before it was delivered. No coffee cream and too many nut flavours for my husband, who has a tree nut allergy. Bless him.
Aww.
He's been eating all the caramel ones, which are my favourite. Overall, they are okay. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, Beth. Roses are much better, much superior in my opinion.
You know what?
And also, I
She
do
tried,
think they probably
though.
would be better if you bought them fresh in the UK. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, so she says, I love the UK. I've been 3 times. I love the people, food, pubs, theatres, history and architecture. Not a fan of the tube, though. Too hot and crowded. Amen to that. Yeah. We would live there if we could. Our favourite pub is the Punch Tavern on Fleet Street. Love the podcast. Working on a second listen in between the new episodes. Now, she says, Alex, you are hilarious. Sometimes I have to rewind because you talk so fast. Becky, you sound so posh. I love your voice. I could listen to you read the phone book.
Oh, Bags.
Maybe we should do that.
Here.
I hate my book. That's why I don't listen back.
She hates her voice and she doesn't listen. So weird.
But can I just say my favourite Quality Street is the Green Triangle.
Nice. Jen, keep defending us Americans. Sorry this is so long. I'll send an email next time. Happy Christmas. This is from Christmas because obviously I
don't think that is overpriced. What is it? I was in
$47. That's like 20.
But what's
like 35 quid.
Oh, maybe that is a little bit. But considering well, no, but I was in John Lewis and they had, because if you're buying them in the local supermarket now, they're not tins, they're plastic, they're very small portions. Whereas I was in John Lewis and they had a proper hefty sized tin, and I'm sure that was 20 odd pounds.
That still wouldn't be $47 though.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, unless the exchange rate has gotten horrifying.
It's the tariffs.
Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started.
Imagine if Trump puts a tariff on Quality Streets.
Oh, girls.
Just get roses. Right. Becky says, another Becky. This is a different Becky. This is like Becky and Jen again.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally I can't understand your love of Jane, but I'm currently rewatching from the start again. And I know a good podcast, Becky. Oh, hang on. And got to the episode with the X-ray van and Mojo is locked in the bathroom and Fred's got to get her out and stood at the bottom of the ladder with Jane. And I honestly think she had the funniest line the show's ever had. Changed my opinion in a moment. Good, because we all absolutely loved that scene.
Oh, what was the line that she had?
Oh, I can't even remember now. She was at the bottom of the stairs. She was like, no, you're going to have to go up, wasn't she? She's like, normally, I'd be sympathetic, Fred, but you got to go up there or something. It was like that.
Yeah.
Right, another one.
Jane.
This is Beth. She says, listening to your podcast now and loved hearing about New Year's traditions. In central Pennsylvania, we eat pork and sauerkraut on New Year's Day for good luck. It's delicious with mashed potatoes and peas, but also like eating that for good luck. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not eating anything for good luck.
I'll just be honest, I'm going to pretend everything's for good luck when I'm eating it. Okay, this is from Joanne Parsons. She's on Facebook.
Oh.
Okay, she says, great podcast. I agree that Mrs. Williams was obstinate and we should have listened, but I think she was just scared and sometimes that rules the behaviour. I also think SMJ is depressed and that's causing a crisis of faith. It's common in the elderly. So we're just dismissing her for being a bit of an annoyance, but
I think it's because she's got history for being awkward, which is probably how I will be in my old age.
I mean, you're already awkward now.
I'm already awkward. It's amplified.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I will say, like, yeah, I appreciate the extra perspective.
Also, I will say quite often with anything to do with mental health, when you're on the outside, I mean, obviously this is a TV program, but it's so easy to just be frustrated with somebody, isn't it? Because it's so difficult to put yourself in their place. Which is entirely the wrong way to, but
well, and I will say, like, if it was a case of like actually dealing with Sister Monica Joan, I'm sure all of us would have a lot more like patience and understanding for her than we do, which is why they have it on the show. But it's just sometimes I think
it's easy to be quite glib sometimes when we know it's not real.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like if we were dealing with these folks in everyday life, I mean, it would be a whole different. It would be a whole.
I don't know. I still don't have huge amounts of patience.
Wow.
But I do have a lot of self-awareness. So that's fine.
Okay, we've got a message here from Antigone who says, hi Alex, hope you're well. She knows it's me who answers on messages.
Yeah.
Just listening to the pod, Lucille and Barbara were at Nonata's hut together. I thought I was going mad. I remember Barbara comforting Val in the Big Freeze Christmas episode. Tom and Barbara had left for Tom's posting. And remember, Lucille arrived late due to the weather in that episode. Series 7, episode 1, Barbara and Tom returned while everyone was at the picnic a few episodes later and sadly got sick. End of season 7. So basically, I only remember because I've recently rewatched that era. So that just really, honestly, made me feel loads better. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, like you've not gone mad.
Yes. Now,
wow.
This is where we are going to get absolutely slated.
Oh, God.
Not you. Actually, a lovely one before we start. Ellen sent pictures of her exactly the same cutters as Jen's.
Oh, nice.
She owns the exact same ones. Now, before we start,
wait, I need to know, has she had those from new?
Oh, I don't know. I've not asked her.
Or has she bought the vintage? Ask her.
I'll mess. Well, send us in because I'll have to find the message. Yeah. So just let us know.
Let us know.
Okay, now this is the only one we're going to get, which is in our favour. It's Butterfly Girl on Instagram who says, "I agree with Alex and Jen about Nancy. I hope she changes for the better."
Oh,
thanks, Butterfly Girl.
Yeah, you said you were gonna give us the business because people had like come to Bex's side on this one. Okay, yeah.
I mean, so are you ready?
Okay, yeah. Here we go.
So Dina, who's lovely, and I don't want to disagree, but at the same time I do. She says, "Love the podcast, but I felt I had to share. I 100% disagree with Jen and Alex on the position of Nancy, and I 100% agree with Becky. I feel that both spoke of Nancy with such insensitivity, if you'll pardon me for saying. I do pardon you for saying, because you're wrong. No, I don't know. I'm joking. The way I look at it is when I saw Colette with the bruises on her arms, just imagine how that would feel to a mother. And although she removed her from that situation with not much of a plan, what she could provide her with is love, a mother's love, and that's what she felt Colette needed and needs more than anything. Imagine seeing your child in a place where nobody loves it, and beyond that, there's even some form of abuse. I can't even imagine what that would feel like. You would just want to take them and give them all the love and protection they deserve and they need, right?" And I was like, yeah, 100%. You would want to do that, which is why she should have taken her to Nonata's house in the first place. But she took her to this hotel where she was at risk. So we all basically think that Colette wasn't in the greatest place, but at the same time...
I just think she wasn't thinking clearly. Also, what I will
anyway,
say...
Sorry, Alex and Jen, but I feel like you were way off on that one. We'll have to disagree.
You know what? We always respect our... Yeah, I mean, I don't think my opinion's going to change, but I appreciate her sharing
I don't respect
thoughts.
your view on this.
Well, do you know who else doesn't respect our view on this? Barbara Lim. She says, "I thought you were very hard on Nancy, Alex. Apparently Jen's not. Jen's fine." Yes, it seemed as though her common sense had gone AWOL, but she could see that all she could see was their precious daughter was being badly treated as she had been. And like, I'm a mother. It's not like I don't think. Like, I think it's good. Child abuse is great. But at the same time, I still stand firm.
No, I need to say something on this because you're like, she should have just taken her to Nonata's house. But you forget that Nancy already has experience with a different set of nuns. And it's not a positive experience in all cases.
Yeah, but in what world was it okay to go to the hotel where you've got no money and the guys are rape risk?
I'm not saying it was a good idea, but I'm just saying that she didn't, like, we all know that you can trust the Nonatans, but she didn't know that. And she's a child herself.
She's not a child. You keep saying that. She's not a child. She is in her 20s. That is not a child.
She's in her early 20s.
That is not a minor in any country either one of us consider no, I'm sorry. No, you can say she's immature. You can say she's young. You can say she doesn't have life experience, but she's not a child. There's no world in which...
Hang on. We've got another opinion here. Tina Abelski, again, lovely listener who gives lovely things. She also, "I hope you're doing well from your surgery, Tina." She says, "Nancy had a trauma response. She was raised by those nuns. She knows how they are. She sees all the things, jump through the hoops, and then she discovers that they are treating her daughter how they treated her, and she blindly reacts. I have a theory in life that people who have kids as teenagers kind of arrest at that age, and I think Nancy personifies that. So that kind of backs up Becky's thing there."
Okay. And I think you'll find that when our nieces, nephews, children are in their early 20s, I'll still be referring to them collectively as the babies.
Sure.
Okay, so basically we got raked over the cold, but neither of us are going to change our opinion, are we?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so.
Sorry, guys. I still just think it was a silly thing for her to do. Anyway, right. Jordan.
Well, hello. Wait, can I just say one thing on this? I will say this. I think that it is helpful to have the listeners' opinions because maybe we didn't coalesce around all of us agreeing that we didn't like none of us thought that where Colette was great. None of us thought that the way the nuns were treating her was great. Like we all had our issues with that. Nobody disputes the premise. It's just how do we deal with this situation is what we all have what we all think differently about. So I'll say that at least if we can all agree that we're on the same page of like, yeah, I get that, Colette was in a tough spot and Nancy wanted to remove her from it, and we all feel sympathetic about kids being treated a certain type of way. Maybe that's at least some common ground. Other than that,
I think
though,
we all want what's best for Colette.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we were just really harsh about Nancy, but I think for good reason. Anyway, right. So
what's best for Nancy?
Anyway, okay, Jordan says,
yes.
Hello from Oregon. My name is Jordan and I am a huge Call the Midwife fan. I got started on it when I was laid off from my job for 7 weeks during the pandemic, and I binged the 5 or 6 seasons available within a couple of weeks. Now I have 3 small children that I stay at home with, and I own a large barn where I board horses, so I'm outside alone with them for a good portion of my day. I've been trying to get my friends and family started on Call the Midwife with no luck, and I was craving a community to discuss it with, and a few weeks ago I found you guys. I listen to you as I clean stalls or do the housework, and I make my kids and husband think I'm crazy as I answer your questions or disagree or agree or disagree, probably disagree with the whole Nancy thing, all out loud while I have my earbuds in. I'm currently in the middle of Series 6 and I'm anxious to see how the PB&J sandwiches go. Oh, bless you. Thanks for helping me feel not so lonely. Keep up the good work, ladies. Well, Jordan, I hope you're up to this series and I hope you hear this. And thank you so much for listening. Well, thank you so much for all of you for listening. It still blows our mind that more than us listen. Well, not even Bex. Me and Jen listen.
Jordan, that is so cool.
Also, Jordan sounds like she just lives a really amazing life.
Yeah, really cool life there.
Yeah. Well, I was like, yay. And then not yay that you got made redundant. Like,
no.
Oh, no. I will say this also, Jordan, like, thank you for doing that work because my allergies could never let me, like, take care of a horse full time. But I applaud people who can.
I'm just a bit scared of horses, if I'm honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I used to have to go and like, I'm from Cheshire, quite a rural Cheshire, and all my friends had like birthday parties of horses and stuff, and they all knew what they were doing and stuff, and mine always used to like run away and stuff. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
What we know from your story of
Las Vegas. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought of it. Yeah.
Okay, yes. Right. So we've got quite a lot to get through. So Diana, she says, hello, ladies. Love the podcast and community you have built. I just had to share this story with people who would freak out about it as much as I did. I found out yesterday that my dad is a thalidomide baby.
Really?
Little backstory. My parents have been divorced for years, but saw each other yesterday at a viewing for my brother in viewing/mass, my brother-in-law's father who has just passed. As I was driving home with my mom in America, she mentioned how my dad is looking more and more like his own father as he ages, but just not as tall. I thought nothing of that comment because my dad is just average height for a man, around 5'8". But then my mum went on to say that his legs were a bit stunted in growth due to my grandma taking a drug back in the 1950s while pregnant with him that later was linked to birth defects. Then she tried to say the name, but then didn't get it quite right. But me being a CTM superfan yelled out, "Thalidomide!"
Oh my gosh.
And then I proceeded to tell her all about it based on my many Call the Midwife viewings. I literally had no clue. I just thought my dad was on the shorter side compared to his father, but maybe if my grandma never took that while pregnant with him, he would have been taller. My mum said she was terribly sick during the pregnancy, throwing up constantly, and that's what she was prescribed. My dad was definitely one of the lucky ones. Anyway, I had to share this with you all since we're a niche little group here who will get it. Thanks for making an amazing show, Diana. Can you believe that, guys?
Wow.
And also, like she says, like, so lucky that she took it at that point in her pregnancy where it didn't have more severe.
Or she only had to take it a little bit and didn't have you know what I mean? Like maybe I wonder what the confluence of events was that meant that it didn't end up really having that significant. I mean, because for him to just be shorter, that's a pretty minor.
Yeah.
That's very minor. I mean, it's almost not, like, I mean, that you probably wouldn't have even.
Yeah.
I wonder if they only put it together like way after the fact. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if she didn't even think about it when she had him, and then later on she was like, and then she like read the news, and then she was like, "Oh my God, I took that drug!" Like, like something like that. You know? Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Now, Emily's been on. Sorry, I'm speeding through, but thank you very much for your messages. They're all, every single one of you. Thank you so much for the messages. They're all amazing. Okay. Hi, Alex. Again, she knows it's only me who answers social media stuff. I hope all is well across the pond. I had to stop this week's episode to write to you about birth plans here in America. I don't know if you remember or not, but I'm a labour and delivery nurse of 11 years. Birth plans are a thing here, but then optional, not required. In my experience, it seems like the women with really rigid ideas of how they want their birth to go tend to have their birth plan go out the window due to medical complications.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's best to have an idea of what you want as a birthing mum, but to be flexible though and to have faith in your doctors and nurses. Then you won't feel so disappointed, right? Now, brilliant, because also, we were asking about it, right? Brilliant.
And I just agreed then as if I have any sort of knowledge in this area.
Well,
yeah.
You have the knowledge that comes from common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Now, she also very recently, so she sent that message when we were talking about birth plans, right?
Were we talking about Mrs. Williams?
Yes, I think so. I can't remember, to be honest. But then she sent one very recently, right? Now she says, "Hey there, Alex. We had an unexpected vaginal breech birth at work on Friday."
Oh my gosh. Now, I want to know, do they still hang the baby by its head?
I think she's going to tell us.
It made me think about how CTM has made me feel like I could vaginally deliver a breech baby. I'd do what they do in the show. Just so you know, we don't ever plan to deliver breech babies vaginally here in the States. It's an automatic cesarean section. And the delivery was fine. The baby was a bit shocked, but okay in the end.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So basically, it was a cesarean. There you go. That answers the question.
The only thing I wish that she would have said at the end of that, and maybe she can write back when she hears this, but I wish I would know why it's a cesarean only. Like because on the way the way they depict it on the show, it is more dangerous and I mean more risky, like for sure. Like that's telegraphed very much. But like, why is it so bad? That's what I want to know. And breech is when the butt comes out first, right?
Yeah. Arse first. Yeah.
Legs.
Okay.
Yeah, but they call it arse first in popular, don't they?
Yeah. What I want to know is are their arms down? Or are their arms over their head?
I think the arms are down. I think.
I don't know. It's a short answer.
I mean, we've seen on the Call the Midwife where
their arms are down.
Where there's like an arm that's like this, like up, like there's an arm that's up.
It's compound or something.
Yeah, and remember
compound presentation, that's called. Look at me with my medical knowledge.
There we go. Because remember, Sister Julian had to like reach in and try to like be really careful to like move the arm out of the way without hurting the baby.
Whenever they're reaching in, it's like, is there room to be reaching in there? No, probably not.
Well, I mean, in their world, they do have to reach in there. But I mean, it doesn't sound like nowadays you would do that.
I mean, as you can tell, guys, we're not midwives. So, Okay, so Steph on Instagram, this leads to the next thing I'm going to say. Steph on Instagram says, the bit about the jam jars cracked me up as I was walking down the street by myself looking like a mad woman. And it's when I said to you, Jen, no, we don't still use jam jars. I couldn't eat that much jam, right? Because you know, when you were like, oh, do you still use jam jars like in the third world or something, right?
For specimen pots.
Yeah. So
you guys do a lot of old-fashioned things. I'm sorry. Like,
but we have moved on a bit, Jen.
You have, but I'm just saying, like, you're acting like... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, what was the listener saying then?
Hang on, I want to know what we do that's similar to jam jars.
It's not that it's similar to jam jars, but I just feel like there's stuff about Britain that you're like, well, we do it this way. Like, we've always done it. Like, I mean... Maybe it's definitely not as much as it used to be, but like multiple of you guys when I first met you still had like little glass milk cartons delivered to your house to get milk.
People still have glass. Yeah.
Yeah. So like to me, that's like a very kind of like holdover antiquated thing.
Yeah, but I think that's progressive because it's sustainability.
But you're not.
And I think you'll find that they were being delivered on electric milk floats.
Yeah.
The precursor to Tesla.
You can say it's about sustainability, and that's great. And if it is, then that's wonderful. But that's not what it's about. Like it's something that you guys did, and you never switched to like the quote more modern version.
Did I ever tell you that story about my daughter when we were talking about how rubbish she was at swimming, and she went, "I am offended." That's all I'm going to say to you. Right? Okay, Jennifer, not you. Jennifer says, OMG, I have so much to say on this week's episode. So this is when we were talking about jam jars. Number one, we Americans also have to give a urine sample at every OB-GYN visit, but they hand us a cup when we get there and you give a sample in the doctor's office, which I'd be rubbish at. I'd be weeing on my hand. A lot of practices even have a little secret shelf in the bathroom where you place your cup, shut the tiny door, and a nurse on the outside opens her tiny door to get the sample.
Yes, I have seen that. Mm-hmm.
What? And you think we're backwards?
Yeah, that's a bit like having holes in sheets to conceive your baby.
Say what you will. I've dealt with this for so long. Say what you will. I have my opinion.
Right. She also says that Nancy is an old-fashioned nickname for Anne. We had quite a lot of that. Yeah, we had loads of that, like Peggy's for Margaret and stuff. Apparently, Nancy's a nickname for Anne. Like it's really well known. So that's us.
Really?
Yeah.
Nancy is a nickname for the name Anne.
Yeah.
Never in my wildest
I mean,
dreams.
Jen, Peggy's short for Margaret. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, that doesn't.
Peggy makes more sense.
Peggy is
How
short
does
for
that make
Margaret.
sense? When you say Nancy, you're saying Anne in there. How do you get Peggy from Margaret?
Well, like Margaret, like Meg, Peg, like that I get.
Oh, that really does make sense.
Rhyming words.
Thing is,
you roast me over the coals at every chance you get, and you act like
Jen,
I'm
I
a complete
disagree with you.
buffoon, like
Jen.
I have no idea. And then I say something, and it's like, oh, actually, yeah.
I said that made sense, and then Becky was like, "You just you've just rhyming words." That was just polar opposite opinions just then. I was like, "Yeah, that's really good," and she was like, "No."
You guys are gonna give me the complex.
Don't worry, I've given myself a complex tonight. I can't read everyone. I'm really sorry. I don't know what's wrong with it. Right. Honestly, I swear to God.
Yeah, but you're probably gonna edit that. So you're just gonna
I won't be able to edit out this spluttering and rubbishness.
No.
Right. Okay. Now she also says, my husband had a poloniadal cyst. I can never say it right anyway. Do you remember what that boy had? Michael, was it?
Oh, the hotel. Michael
yes.
worked in the hotel.
Buttock cleft.
Yes. For months, he thought, I don't think he's got it the same way, guys, by the way. For months, he thought he was getting a bad back.
Well, his was an ingrown hair.
Yeah, but it was caused by rubbing.
Well, it was an infection that came about because of illicit activity.
Oh, I didn't realize.
No, I'm joking. I don't know if it was. It might have just been by accident. For months, he thought he was getting a bad back. Then one Saturday, he thought he pulled a muscle doing yard work. A few days later, he woke me up in the middle of the night in agony, and I rushed him to the ER. I will spare you the details, but he passed out from the pain. Anyway, we mentioned it to a friend afterwards, and every single person with any medical training knew right away that we were describing a pilonidal cyst. I'm going to call it that. They're very common, but kind of icky, so people don't talk about them very much. Well, who'd have known? Because I had a few people say that they'd had them or they knew people who had them. So she's absolutely right.
Wow.
Right, now we've got another message from
hopefully
Emily.
Based on the message he had a good recovery.
Yes,
that's what I'm hoping.
Okay, so different Emily says, hey girls, just want to recommend a show in case you haven't seen it yet. Toxic Town on Netflix, a heartwarming true story with a strong Call the Midwife vibe. It definitely got me teary-eyed. Thanks again for the podcast. Always listen every week. Take care. Thank you, Emily.
She must have recommended that not that long ago because I did see it and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to watch it, but now I probably will because that's a great recommendation. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was going to be way too sad and dark, and I was a little anxious about that. So I didn't want to start it for that reason, but now that she said that it's worth it and it's kind of heartwarming, I would be willing to go for it. Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm also going to watch it on that recommendation.
I'm going to watch it as well because I have seen it on socials.
Well, how are you going to watch it if you're not going to watch The Crown first?
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm going to sign up for Netflix. I've got a backlog.
You need to treat yourself to a Netflix subscription back. You deserve it.
Okay, so another Jennifer says, I'm with you guys, RE driving all over the place. My nieces, both adults, live 2 and 4 hours away from me. Do I ever visit them? No way. Love them to death, but that's just too far. Now, she's in America.
And they live 2 hours away?
Yeah, and she's like, nah, mate, I'm with you, Jennifer. She's a Brit in heart. She's a Brit in the heart.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Also, I think this is Jennifer. I think this is Jen we're going to meet in Bath. Do you remember where I sent you a text?
Yeah.
Becky, you never confirmed. We're going to meet her in Bath. We're going to do it.
I've not confirmed a lot of things to you.
Yeah, well, we're going to do it.
I'm also up for meeting up on my birthday weekend.
Oh, brilliant. We haven't had... Thank you. Right. Well done. Right, Brill, we'll sort that. So anyway, and then she says, when does the BBC documentary come out? Now, I don't think by the time I've even put this out again, it will be out because basically I've heard from the BBC it's still being edited. So I don't think it's going to be out for a good few weeks yet. And this comes out in 2 weeks. So I think I'm safe to say that here. If I may be wrong, but we'll see.
Are we going to record something after we've watched it? Because we've not watched it.
Well, we've already recorded. Oh, you mean record something after that?
Once we've watched it. So is our episode talking about the fact that you've done it gone out?
No,
because I was going to wait until it come out.
Oh.
Because there's no point in talking about it until people could actually watch it.
So how does Jennifer know about it?
Because we've done a little bit of a thing about it.
Like a teaser.
Preview. Yeah. Okay. So Megan says, hi, Alex, Becky and Jen. This may not be worthy of reading on the pod. Well, I think you'll find we are, but I hope you find it funny. I'm pregnant and rewatching the series with you guys, just caught up on all the pod episodes. So, Alex, you know how pregnancy dreams are weird. Last night, I dreamed I came over to visit Alex Bobbs and Alex's husband. I don't know his name, but in my dream, he was Dan. It's not Dan, but that's Lols. I'm going to call him that from now on. I stayed a whole week visiting you guys in your seaside cottage. I'd love to. Cottage.
Oh,
Bob's
you
was
live in
on
a seaside
spring break.
cottage in her
Yeah.
dreams.
Bob's was on spring break from school, and we went to a musical recital for her. And Alex, your leg was healing, but you were still kind of laid up. Blaming story of my life. But by the end of the visit, you were taking me back to the airport, and I asked about buying some Quality Street to take home as I'm saying my goodbye, aliens. I woke up not long after. Seriously, what the hell? Not one thing to do with Call the Midwife. I hope you have a great week and look forward to seeing next episode.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so random.
Also, let us know when you have the baby. That's exciting.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, she's pregnant in real life. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Because she said pregnancy dreams are weird. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on you and your baby.
I know. Cute.
We would ooh and ah if we saw the baby in a photo, just like we do on the show for the babies on the show. I'm sure she's gonna have a really sweet baby.
Well, we had that lovely baby Austin who was early as well. That got photos on.
Oh, right. And then he was doing so good. Yeah, I remember that. Aww.
Okay, now Barbara Lim. We're not falling out now. We're back together. So, I did a thing today. This is actually today. This is hot off the press. So we've not let it linger. This hate about the Nancy thing. So she said, since when has it been called Mother's Day in America, in England, when it was used to be Mothering Sunday? And that's true. Like, I think I've always grown up being called Mother's Day, but I've seen it being called Mothering Sunday. Bex, do you call it Mothering Sunday because you were born in the 50s?
Well, I gave my mum a card today, and on the front of the card, it said "With love on Mothering Sunday."
So you do the Mothering Sunday?
Well, no, I don't say, oh, it's Mothering Sunday today. I'd say it's Mother's Day, but it's not unusual for me. It is Mothering Sunday.
Right. Whereas I'd just be like, Mother's Day, done. Boom. Anyway, so I was like, oh, I don't know. Just blah, blah, blah. She says, there's such a surprise. I asked this question, then saw an English Family Connection put up photos from Mothering Sunday of a great granny, a granny, a mum, blah, blah, blah. I am listening to the podcast now and smiled about you referencing Bluey and Pass the Parcel. Right. Then she says, I just had to laugh about the likes. I wanted to say too that filming in COVID notwithstanding, in the 60s, filming sex scenes was not really a thing. A door was closed and that what was happened within was up to the viewers' imaginations. Also, even kissing scenes, especially in a couple like Lucille and Cyril, would not be like in-your-face things we see today. Cyril and Lucille were far more discreet and modest. They may have saved the other stuff for behind the doors, which I kind of agree with as well. Like, I very much do. I think I said that point. They're quite a chaste couple anyway.
Also, it's very much, I mean, I don't know what I've been watching, but it's very much a thing where a couple will get together and then it'll cut to the sea in a crashing wave.
Yeah.
And that's
like in general or on this show?
Well, no, not on Call the Midwife, because that would be random if they just
I was like, huh? What do you? I don't know.
No.
I know what you mean, though.
Other things that I've seen, I don't know why, but then you're just like, oh, that's what's going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a euphemism, I'm sure. So
yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I wish that they had either done one or the other. Like, either like go for it or make it fully chaste, fully like we're gonna read things into it.
But they're never gonna fully go for it, are they?
Well, no. I mean, I've joked about this before. Like, for a show that's literally all about the product of that, human interaction, like we literally never see anything. I mean, I would say like no spoilers, but like,
Jen.
well, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to see anything, but I'm just saying like we just don't, and that's fine. The show is just set up to be like very wholesome, but like,
is this just because Cyril's involved?
No. I mean, like Trixie and Matthew, like no spoilers, but Trixie and Matthew.
Listeners, yes, it is.
This is blatantly a spoiler. I feel like they were constantly talking about basically doing it. I mean, sorry to like say it that way, or they were intimating like, their sex life seemed very blatant on the show. They didn't show them doing anything other than just like kissing some from time to time. But Lucille and Cyril do have a very chaste relationship. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you couldn't do things because of COVID, I wish that they had just made it very like leave it up to your own imagination or not. That's what I'm saying. Just make it very chaste and like, oh, like he would just like take her hand and then they'd walk into the bedroom.
Yeah, I genuinely
and then close the door while they were both smiling at each other.
No, I think they did it perfectly. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, we can disagree.
Okay, now I've just sent you both a
That is
picture.
that.
So this is from Lucy Wright,
Can
who
I just
says,
say,
"Oh, go on.
can I just say, I much prefer the Cyril Lucille relationship than the Barbara Tom when we had his greasy Brill cream mark on the wall.
Oh,
Do you remember?
I mean, you say
I
that,
do
but
remember
my
that.
house is covered in greasy Brill cream at that height. Our gardener has got. I wish I had a gardener. Anyway, right. It's not, by the way, my head. He doesn't wear Brill cream in his hair. Right, now, I've just sent you a photo from a Lucy Wright who says, look
Yeah,
what
and
I
you've
found at
probably
Ickworth House. Horlicks on the go.
Wait, where did you find this?
It's a place called Ickworth House. Ickworth House.
Oh my
property of Lord Macclesfield's ballet.
Macclesfield's not far from me.
Are they tablets? Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah,
I thought it was a powder.
it is.
Made
You can get it in
from-
tablet form as well. We have spoken about this before, I think.
It
So
says
you can-
contains 20 tablets made from full cream milk, wheat flour, malted barley, potassium bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, and salt.
You guys, what's that 9D? What does that
That's the
mean?
price.
That was the price.
What's D? I forget.
It's before it was before we were.
Yeah, we're not down with that.
It was before pennies. Well, no, I think pennies were around, but I think D was before then.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Also, have you had your parcel yet?
No.
She's
Honestly,
definitely
I did definitely post it. Right, Julie Coates again, and this is again recent, so we've not fallen out. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, hang on. Pennies were confusingly abbreviated to D. This is because the Latin word for this coin was denarius.
Oh, for God's sake! I mean, I'm with you now,
Latin
Jen.
word.
I hate the UK. Right now,
I'm just telling me, like, you guys just
yeah, that is
believe me or
ridiculous.
not, but come on.
Right. Julie Coates says, I agree with Becky. Not about Nancy.
Yeah.
I thought it was strange that Lucille gifted Phyllis her own pearls. I mean, I also agree, Bex. I understand it was meant to be a poignant moment, but still weird. And I had a New Year's Day wedding. The church was still decorated for
Julie!
Christmas. Yeah. The church was still decorated for Christmas. A tree was in the sanctuary and the poinsettias were on the altar. It was all very pretty. That sounds gorgeous, Julie.
That does sound.
Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Now, wait a minute, Al. We know what time of year you got married, but Bex, what's your like? If you were going to get married, what would be your number one time of year to get married, if you could choose?
should we
you
tell the
did say
listeners
it-
when I got married? I got married in April.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that would be up to you to decide if you want to share that. So,
Yeah.
But
again, I don't know if I would have chosen it. We just did it on my husband's 40th. Do you know what I mean?
oh, so you guys didn't think about like this is when we
No,
want
we
to
didn't
do
think of
it?
anything. We just thought we're going to Vegas for his 40th anyway. Let's just get married.
Oh, okay, okay, interesting. I had thought it was.
And also, what better gift than the gift of a wife?
And also,
Yes, spending the
it
rest of
was
your
her
life together.
parents' wedding anniversary.
Yes, it's also my parents' wedding anniversary.
Well, my parents' wedding anniversary is April as well. So,
I mean, I would I want a Christmas wedding? What was I watching recently where was it called Midwife? And I was like, would be so stressful. It was probably called Midwife.
you said stressful if you
It would be
yeah.
so stressful trying to organize Christmas and a wedding.
Yes.
But I am very down for a New Year's wedding.
Yes, and you did say that in the episode.
Yeah.
You did say that in the episode. I will say I think Christmas wedding would be really stressful, but you made this comment, but I actually think it could work in the flip side, Al, because you were like, "Oh, what about everyone's holidays and stuff like that?" But if you wanted to keep it small and have your family that you potentially would spend the holiday with anyway, I think it actually would be a really good idea to have it at Christmas because then you could kind of roll it all in together. You know, and if you were going to be with your family, I mean, if you were asking people to travel, like, especially for it, and you wanted all the friends and all that kind of stuff, I think that's not fair to ask, like, friends and everything to change their plans like that. But if you wanted to have a certain guest list, I think it would be really nice to have a Christmas or a Christmas close to Christmas wedding, you know?
I will say, I like the idea of Christmas. I like the build up to Christmas. I find Christmas a very funny time. Once you actually get to Christmas, it can be a very funny day. What I do love though is Easter. I think I love Easter more than Christmas.
Oh,
yes. So maybe I'd have an Easter
Spoiler,
wedding.
this year, Easter is my wedding anniversary.
Oh.
Is it Easter Monday?
Easter Sunday.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
If only you'd got married so many years later. Could have had an Easter wedding.
Oh, see what you mean? Yeah, 9 years later. Yeah. But I didn't have a big wedding anyway. It was just us in Vegas. Right. One last one.
Well, no, I'm not saying to have a big wedding, just an Easter wedding.
Oh no, but what would I do? Like, they don't have Easter eggs in America. I wouldn't have gone then.
Do you not have Easter eggs, Jen?
Well,
Not like us.
I mean, I'm sure there's somebody in America who's going to say I'm wrong about this, but like, I mean, I don't think we
I've
have
seen
them the way you
TikToks on
guys
it.
do. It's not the way you guys do. At least not anywhere I've ever lived or experienced.
I mean, genuinely, I mean this to every listener out there. Get some British Easter eggs in your life because my God, they're good.
Yeah, they're so much normal chocolate. I've bought myself Easter eggs and I've taken them to my parents, so I can't eat them till Easter.
We just keep buying them. We keep buying them every week when Gladiators is on and eating them.
Well, I have to, because I buy them for my niece and nephew and then I eat them and then I have to buy them more.
Yeah, but we buy them specifically to eat them during Gladiators because it's just so nice. We're like, why are we stopping ourselves having nice things? Yum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, one last one. Okay, this is Heidi again. She says, really enjoyed watching this episode again and cried so much. Look, this is the episode where we did the special delivery. Loved seeing Mojo's white stag again. Wonderful podcast episode, of course, ladies. You crack me all up, lol. Thanks, Heidi.
Aww.
I feel like Dr. Turner came off the way he did because he is so proud of his wife, and rightly so. I agree. Totally agree with Peter and Chummy as favourite couple. I'd love to have Barbara's fur-lined cape and stole from her wedding, as well as a tea set and some Christmas ornaments if Becky will share. Loved reminiscing.
She definitely have
the cape. Love reminiscing about all the characters with you all. I just realised that as a PBS Passport member, I have access to the beginning of season 14 early, so she's binging season 13 on DVD.
We're doing the same thing.
Now I'm really wondering who becomes a nun and how the season ends. Sorry, everyone, but just all watch it. Loved all your comments on the show, especially your comment, Alex, about how the show encourages us to take stock in our own lives. And it's just so true, isn't it? Love it. So thank you to everyone who has made all these lovely messages and made the effort to send them to us and send lovely little comments and send us emails. And if you do want to send us anything, send it through. I'll try and be better at replying and putting them on. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone who's messaged us or who listens or has recommended us, because we've seen so many lovely things. So thank you so much.
Like you've shared somewhere people have recommended us to other people, and that's just really sweet.
Oh, it's so heartwarming.
Yeah. And we know it is a labour of love for us because we do love it. And the whole reason we started this was for people, like, just to have those messages, like Jordan, who was like, you know, I had no one to speak to about it. Now I have you. It just warms your heart. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Honestly, genuinely, we love it.
And thank you, everyone, for backing me on Nancy Gate.
I thought she was going to do a really thank you, Alex, for doing the podcast. But
no. I will say, I feel like sometimes we've had listener specials where we have a lot of like questions and like different like conversational prompts and stuff. And this one was more about, it feels like people's comments and just kind of like listening and everything. And that was also awesome and lovely and just as nice.
I will say as well, though, quite a lot of the times our actual social media, it's really annoying the way it kind of went from Facebook, because we've only got like 200 whatever people now. It used to be 2,000. But like, I feel like a lot of the times on social media as well, because it went missing around Christmas. So there's a lot of content I can't get access to. But it was like quite a lot of conversations between them and posts about stuff. So there was like quite a little community going on there, which was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it started again. We do have a bit of that again now. But yeah. So yeah, if you do have any questions or anything you want to send us or anything you want us to do, any suggestions, send it through to us. We're more than happy to, disagree with you. So
I mean, like us disagreeing with you is really how you know you've made it onto the show, because you can hear how much we disagree with each other. So it's all out of love, and love you guys, love this podcast, love the listeners.
Yeah. So we may have like a week or two's break, or a few weeks break, but we will be back very soon with series 11.
Very soon, yes.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.